right from the beginning. I'm just gonna do a little bit of setting up things here, and then we're gonna do some animation critiques for the AnimChallenge Facebook group. Yeah, first of all, I would be very interested if somebody is seeing this, if you can hear and see me okay. I'm gonna pull up all the windows that I need, all the screens. In my preview, everything looks quite nice, so I hope this should be working. Oh, and we're only today in 720p, but that should be sufficient for now. Just getting my screen ready. Oh, and of course now I have to cough. As soon as I started the stream button, I have this scratching throat, wonderfully. Sorry. Yeah. Please let me know if you can hear me okay, if the voice is loud enough, if the music is too loud or too little music. That would be really good to know. I have the chat open now. You can comment and write in any chats, no matter where you are. We are streaming simultaneously on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So whatever your preferred platform is, you can watch me there. I'm gonna do some animation critiques in just a second. Yeah, hello everyone who has time this wonderful Sunday to join me. There are 7 people watching, but nobody can tell me if they can hear me okay. Let me know, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, if the music is not too loud, not too quiet. That would be really nice to know. I can also check how things are going in my end. Yeah. I think we can start. Ah, there's some commenters in YouTube saying that everything's working fine. Thank you very much. That's wonderful. I'm still sorting windows over here, that's why I'm so distracted. When I first started streaming, I would always start the stream no matter if I was ready or not, and that was hell. I got super overwhelmed. Because talking and doing stuff at the same time can be really difficult. Yeah. Hello Junju967 and Splash7. Welcome, how are you guys? Let's see, let's select a nice music to start on. Oh, what's coming now? Let Faith decide the random music. That's not too exciting, this music. Let's start with that one. Oh, and let's actually get rid of the message at the bottom. Hello everyone, welcome on this wonderful Sunday evening. We're gonna do some animation critiques of the Anim Facebook challenge from August 2019. And the topic in the previous month was Spider-Man, and lots of people submitted some wonderful animations. Let's take the screen. Lots of people submitted some wonderful Spider-Man animations. So many, in fact, that I'm not sure. Oh no, I am sure we're not gonna get to all of them. Apologies in advance. But we're gonna go through as many animations as we can and see what we can learn to make our own animations better. And yeah, maybe look at some mistakes that the people made, but also at the wonderful ideas and the things that they did right, because there are lots of impressive examples in this month's competition. I was really blown away. So yeah, I would say let's just start with the first one. I'm gonna switch off the music for this because I feel like each animation has its own rhythm, and I don't want to paint over that with my own music. I want us to really feel the rhythm that the animator put into the animation. I'm gonna open the chat on the side. Hello, H. Bruna. So I can see what you guys are writing. If you see anything that you think would be interesting to talk about, or if you have any questions, please write that in the chat. So let's jump right into the first one. That is quite an impressive one. The impacts are really, really amazing in this one. You're making it difficult for me to find something to critique. So let's point out the things that I think work really, really well. I think the person put in all the right steps that the action needs, and all the right steps that we need to process what's going on the screen. Yes, H. Bruna, the timing in this one is amazing. So he is going, and then he's stopping, and then he's going up with the head. It's very important that this is all one after the other. I do like that he also looks over his shoulder right before Deadpool comes through the ceiling. I think that's really important. Oh, he actually comes right on top of him. I really didn't see that it is really right on top of him. It's a close call for Spider-Man here. And I feel like, the timing, the weight is all pretty amazing. The time stretching here is just the right amount. That's pretty cool. Another thing that I like a lot is that when he's almost at the final position, he opens up the sword. He doesn't do it here. He does it when he is at the end position over here, which gives us a really nice last thing to look at. And then, yeah, things happen nicely one after the other. And then Spider-Man throws the net. We have some time to see that it hit the face. The only thing where I think it's going too fast is I do like that he's holding his head. Like we get this nice pose right before he's holding his head, so we have a nice contrast here. And this reaction just makes sense. If you got hit in the head, that's exactly what you would be doing. And then he gets pulled over. I wouldn't have opened that pose again. I think I would have just let it be like that. Because you don't really see that he's opening his hand again. That he's removing his hands from the head. And this is also so nice how just in a few frames the arm is coming in, and you have this really clear line of action. So yeah, this is the perfect frame to study line of action and to prove how important it is. I know that if you see it like this, it just feels like it's obvious that you should animate like this. But what I often see of my students is that they would not push this far enough. Like a common mistake would be to have like the body straight, to have it more like that. And I love that this is going all in, like he's leaning into it, and then the arm, and yeah, this is just really nice, really good work. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. They're saying stuff in Spanish, and my Spanish is not good enough to understand what they are talking about, but yeah. If you talk in English, I can join the conversation. Really good work, Kevin Nguyen. Really nice, lots of fun. Let's have a look at the next one. This one has this blocking feeling from the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Verse. Okay. Okay, if I understand this right, he stepped on his shoelace or something? Yeah, there's this part here where I really don't know what's going on. Where does that start? Here. Like, what is the camera doing here? Is going around him, but then you don't even see anything of him anymore? And then he's going back, and now there's his hands, but there's also his shoes? Oh, he's making a spider web. I mean, of course he has to. He ends up in a spider web. But then he jumps out the window? Or, okay, makes a little pose. Oh, there he trips with the shoelace. I really do like the idea, but I feel like it's not quite clear enough yet. I think I would not move the camera like that. Like, whatever you're doing here, that is too much. Just, you know, if you want to highlight a detail like the web throwing, just cut for it, even if it doesn't make any sense. You know, you don't have to use the scene that you had your whole big action in. You could just fake it a little bit by having a scene of the hand. By having a scene of the hand, and maybe have the background drag in the background, but just keep the hand still, or as still as you can, just coming in from here. And it wouldn't be like accurate. It wouldn't be how it would be in reality, probably, if you would cut closer, but it would be a lot easier to read. And that's a very important thing. You want your animation to be clear. You don't want to confuse your audience at any point in time. You kind of did that with the shoelace. It's going on a little too fast. I do like that there's this short pause where you don't know what happened. But you know what could really help to get this straight, to make good decisions here, is storyboarding. If you have a good storyboard, or even make an animatic out of it, which is when you time that storyboard, you could also try different things. If you're just doing a storyboard form, you could try, like, how does it look when we actually see him fall out of the window and stuff like this. And you can test all these different things and occasionally ask people, like, is this clear? Do you understand this? And really develop the camera until everybody can understand what you're doing. Working with storyboards and animatics can be really helpful for that. Yeah, Jesse Herrera also says, I can see the camera in the same time the shot. It's a little confusing to see the animation, confusing camera shots. Yeah, with a bit more clarity. And I think the animation was quite okay. It's just, you know, everybody's now talking about the camera. You have some really fun stuff in there. Like, I do like whatever he's doing with the legs here. Maybe it's a little too fast. Maybe you should hold that a little longer. Especially the spider web should be held a little longer. Just keep him up in the air for a few more frames, so we really have time for that kicking action. But yeah, there's nice, promising stuff in there. And I do like the posing. I like the pose right before he goes out the window. Like, I think that would be especially cool to see him fall. To, you know, he makes his pose like, ah, and then, ah. I think that could be a nice contrast to see that evolve. Yeah, thank you very much, Sebastian Pajaro. Yeah, nice animation, just needs a little more clarity. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Oh, we even have sound. Okay. All right. I think the problem with the punches is that they fly a little too far. And I mean, first of all, the shots, you probably would not see it like that in a movie. It does look a little bit like it's a perspective from one of the persons attacking him, because he also gets hit by a car, which I think is a clever idea, but it's not exactly the most filmic way to present this, but maybe it doesn't have to be. It gives us more time to see the animation. Yeah, I think the camera is definitely one of the guys, because it's bobbing up and down. So with the punch, you kind of need to have a reasonable action reaction. We have the spacing that the fist is doing is kind of defining how large the spacing of the person who is getting punched can be. So if we measure the spacing, we have this hand over here, and then just a few frames later we have the impact. We have this. And the distance is a little longer because it's going around the curve. So let's say, okay, if we straighten up the curve, this is about the distance that the punch has, and this is the maximum distance that the first spacing can have, like really the maximum spacing. Ideally, you shouldn't. His body is catching some of the energy, so I don't know. Realistically, he would only fly about like 3/4 maybe of that. But this is like, I think, all the spacing that we can give him after the punch, and we have to give that spacing to him soon after the punch. Yeah, see, that is the problem. He's flying far too much. Like, in the next frame, he could probably go like that full distance, but then that distance would diminish quickly. Like, kind of like that, maybe. He could become slower again too. I mean, gravity is kind of kicking in, but like, this is the maximum amount that I would let him fall, because this is the maximum distance that he the maximum spacing that he got from the punch. And then you could also have fun with the impact. Like, I mean, think about how these people could have hit the floor. You could have experimented with some nice poses there, because you do have some nice poses in the air. But I get it that you wanted to get rid of them. You wanted to have them off screen. That makes things easier. And this is actually, you know, sometimes you can use solve problems like that with video editing. If you have the punch in a closer shot, then you can go in a shot that's from a little further away, and the bodies could just be gone, and nobody's gonna ask questions where they are. Sometimes you can do tricks like that, but if you're in the same shot, then you really need to pay to this attention. You need to pay attention to what the maximum distance is. But yeah. Yeah, same with the other hit. Like, he's just weightless. I think the problem is also that he's falling wrong. Like, somehow his legs are rotating up, but I feel like, okay, if you get a lot of force into your head, it makes sense that you're going head first, but I don't think you would rotate up like this. Your face, your legs would just be dragged behind. It would be, I think the maximum would be more like that. You know, this is like the maximum that the body would rotate up. Maybe you could throw the hands in the air to like get rid of what is on his face, but I don't think you can rotate him all the way up. And the car is not bad. Yeah, I like it. It could maybe be a tad slower. I do like the web on it. Like, that's really nice. And what I do love is how he uses the second arm. like you have a nice step-by-step thing here. I love step-by-step processes in action. How you just have that throw with that one arm, and then he uses the other arm to get some additional strength and additional support. That is a really nice touch. I really love that. Okay, really good. This one was by Wayun Pimdi. Thank you very much. Really nice animation. Let's pick the next one. Whoa! Some 2D animation. That is pretty cool. I had some difficulties to reading the first poses, which is too bad because I think they're pretty clever, pretty cool idea to have him eat some pizza. Oh, what is that? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I love that pose. I wonder if it could have been a little clearer. Because you have the foot in front of the body, it's a little difficult to read. But I get it that, you know, you also have to see the arm. That's quite tricky. And then unfortunately you don't hold the poses long enough for us to be able to clearly read them. I wonder how it will look if you had the leg over here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to have the feet and the hands out of the body shape as much as possible. You don't have to do that, but it can really help with some clarity. And you definitely need to hold like this before this frame. You need to hold that longer. We need to see like the flesh colored part, like kind of confuses you. You can't really tell. You need some seconds to understand what's going on. But other than that, really nice idea. Yeah, and here, you know, the steps don't get the time that they need. Like, while you're changing the pose and the camera, you have his spider senses. Ideally, this should be one after the other. Like in this pose, he should get his spider senses. Like, just have that pose for a little while. Say number 1, and then number 2. You see the spider senses. Number 3, I think it would be nice if you like, what does he do with the pizza? Does he just throw it away? What was your... Yeah, he throws it away. But because everything is happening at once, you don't really see that. Yeah, it doesn't read. So let's go back to that frame that I was drawing on. So really, if you want your animation to read, you really need to do one thing after the other. So after the spider senses, you could throw away the pizza and make that really seen. Like the pizza can really fly like in an arc. Show that you know your bouncing ball animation. And then number 4 could be that he pulls down the mask, and then you do the camera spinny thing. Yeah, as H. Bruna says, the audience needs to read what you're animating. It's a common beginner mistake to try to do too much in little time. Yeah, that's basically the essence of it. But you are on a really good path here. You have some really nice ideas in here, and and here's the name, Angel Povedano Ruiz. Really nice. Oh, and I do like the villain. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's have a look at the next one. I got some walk cycle in the beginning. Oh no! What? How can you survive that? Falling off a building like a skyscraper. It's so absurd that he survives that fall. But that's... I do like the poses here. Like, this one is a very Spidey pose, a very Spider-Man pose. I wonder if the storytelling could be even clearer, because you're doing that in a... you immediately go into the close-up. I think it would be nice... And especially, it's confusing us a little bit, because we are looking... we're looking more to the right, I would say. H. Bruna says, I think that POV shot of his hand would have been a fun opportunity to practice acting on hands. Oh yeah, you could have done more with the hand. Hey BJ. BJ. How was it pronounced again? Welcome. I feel like this shot is going more to the right, and the other shot, the next one, is going more to the left, which kind of throws your camera 180-degree angle rule. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you shouldn't do that. And I think it would have been nice to establish it a little more, like have one little step here where he already, like, just hold him in the air a little longer, and while he's in the air, he could already try to make the first web. So you know in the total, you already know what will happen next, and you know what you're cutting close to. Because at the moment in this shot, it just looks like his arm is in an angle, and then you cut to the arm stretched out. It just doesn't feel like you just jumped closer. Yeah, and as H. Bruna says, I think you could have done even more with the hand. You could, I mean, he's falling off a skyscraper. You have a ridiculous long amount of time, and it could be like, at the moment he's just trying the same thing over and over again, and I think it could be more fun if he actually tries different things, like duck, 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 like shakes it, or I don't know. That's something more to drive it home, to have like a process of, oh, this isn't working. Why is this not working? What can I do? Like, to have him try different things and to have the panic grow. And maybe you could also conclude it with, like, I mean, we're in a cartoon world now where obviously he's fine after falling from a skyscraper. Maybe you could, at the end, really be like, like, accept it to make it even more believable, quote unquote, that he will survive the fall because he's a cartoon character living in this world and he knows that he will be fine. I don't know. It's just an idea. And here again, I feel like this is also not step by step. You have this wonderful chaotic fall, which I really love, but I feel like some progress would have been nice here too. If he was at the beginning still in his stretched out pose. By the way, you again make the mistake of changing screen directions. He was pointing in that direction, and now his hands are in that direction, which adds to maybe a little bit of confusion. But I feel like at the beginning you could have had a more clear, oh, I'm still trying pose. Like, you could have been like more like that. And maybe he could give up. Maybe it would be fun if he would be like, oh no, oh dear, and then he does this, this fall. So you could have pushed the comedy even harder. It's a really fun shot as it is, but yeah, I think you could squeeze some more comedy out of it, even more. I really like the setup. That's a quite decent fall. Oh, come on, Facebook player, play. I do love the fall though, how he moves his arms, and this is also quite decent how it bounces off his body parts bounce off. Maybe there could have been a little more overlap. It feels a bit samey, like the legs feel like they go up and down the same, the left and right leg. You could have, and it stops a little bit abruptly. But how he's giving the thumbs up. Oh no, we're going on copyrighted material of other channels. But yeah, a really nice job. What was your name? Scott Smoot. Thank you very much. Let's see what else. H. Bruno was suggesting make the other hand grab his wrist really hard because he's pushing harder. Yeah, something like that. B-Joy says first pronunciation was correct. Okay, I'll try to keep it in mind. Jessit says the run cycle needs more weight. Yeah, I mean, you can always polish run cycles more. I kind of like this, like how sloppy his feet feel. Like he has this. Why is that? Is that because his toes? Yeah, they bend up like a lot. Like it feels really gummy-like. But I kind of like it. It fits to the humor of this scene. The hip could have gone down a little more. But yeah. Really nice. Next one by Elias Tuchtfeld, Di Stasio. Some nice spider senses. Yeah, there's a simpler one, but I like that here you have all the step-by-step things that we need. We have some nice time to look at that pose, that beautiful color aberration effect. Really like the style, like the colors. And yeah, you're kind of doing a time stretch thing here too. I wonder if this is a little too triangle-ish. I mean, I get what you're going for. I really can't tell if a curve would be better, but it feels like you very deliberately decided to jump in a triangle. You know, your animation is like this, and I really love the spacing, that it starts so slow and then you just have this huge spacing here, and then you have this time up here, and then you have the how it snaps down. That's really fun. That's a lot of fun. I just wonder how it will look in a curve. I don't know. As I said, I can't tell if it would be better or not, but usually a curve feels more real, feels more organic. Of course, you have straight motions on very fast actions. That's correct. And here, I wonder if that pose goes by a little bit too fast, especially because you have barely any overshoot or no overshoot that we notice. I think this would have been very nice if you had like just a little moment where the head dipped down even later and give this pose a little more time, and have some nice easing. Could have been a nice touch, but it's also a creative decision to not do that because you seem to want to focus on the end a lot. Yeah, I do like how his hips dips down. Like you can see his hip goes up, is in the air. There's a nice arc here, and it dips down, and now he jumps up. Like I do love the snappiness of it, that you go from this to that immediately. Sometimes it's important to be bold, to make these bold decisions. And I think here it works really beautifully, especially you catch that because you catch that small, that fast motion, that fast frame, you catch that by giving this enough time. And here now we have a really nice curve. I do like how he's spreading his fingers. That's really nice touch. And going down, and I think he's going forward with his hands. Really nice. Not many frames here, but just the right frames, the right amount of frames. It's really nice. Actually really cool how you see the hands. You like look at it when he turns. You see that he does the diving motion, and it's just. I mean, in the Facebook player, it just seems to be 1 frame, but it's probably more. It's just the right amount of frames. Really nice. B-Joy says, wish Facebook had a better video player. Yeah, me too. Especially frame-by-frame scrolling, which, by the way, exists now on YouTube. With dot and comma, you can go frame-by-frame on YouTube, which I love for looking at stuff. It doesn't work in Facebook. Really cool animation, too. All right, let's have a look at the next one. I just need to push some windows around. Oh. Okay, what? Did he just get sucked into a traffic accident because he was distracted? Where does he get the, like, I assume it's a trash can lid? Like, you can't really tell. Okay, he seems to become swinging, he comes swinging in, and yeah, the second string here is to pull the trash can lid. But why not? Like, I think this could just be solved by a different camera angle. Like, if you had like a trash can over here, let's make it big. If you have a trash can over here and he would shoot at that, that would have cleared it up a lot where that trash can lid is coming from. Which I do love that idea. It is a really good idea. And here you're going a little too pose to pose. I assume you didn't have the time to animate it all. Like, it feels like all the body parts are going into the position at the same time. That's usually not how it would happen. You would have to do a lot more balancing, probably. I do like that the poses that you do have, how he lands, that's really nice. That you do have that kneeling position that he's then standing up. And then we come to the second part where he is distracted. Which again is also, we don't quite know the room, the space. I don't know how you would solve this, but you might need a total far away shot to establish that even more, to cut to first. And you can hide it a little bit, but I feel like we don't have, like, here it looks as if she's like directly in front of his face. So I don't know. Maybe a long shot would have been able to clear things up. And I think you could have had real fun with him, like, losing balance a little bit when he sees someone, like, maybe they don't know each other. I don't know what the scene, what position in their relationship that was, but maybe you just see her, like, maybe you just see a shadow going past him, and then you see it in his eyes. But I feel like we could have used one step more, just one little step more. and oh, why does he get hit? This is so mean. I mean, it makes sense that his spider senses kick in. This is also really, like, how he saves this. That's a really cool shot. I wonder if the starting position is a bit too far over, because the camera gets a little, you have like all this noise over here, which doesn't really contribute to the clarity. But this shot is really strong. Like, that's really cool. That's how it would be in an action movie. And then he still gets hit. Oh, ouch. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for that shot, Mohammed Deep. Really nice. Okay, this one is from Chong Nachapon. It's the first time that we see some comic. No, not the first time. I think we saw it in the first one too. I do love the Spider-Man comic fonts. It's not a sound, not really a sound here. It's more like an achievement. You're obviously also trying to imitate the style from the movie. So a lot of the frames still look like blocking. I wonder if sometimes he's going too deep too quickly. Yeah, walking towards the camera is always a bit awkward. But I feel like in many of these instances, the hip might be like a little bit too low. Cause look at this. Like, this is not, I mean, what is actually happening afterwards? Now you do have stretched out legs. I just feel like if you just look from the side of a walk or a run, you still need to have enough height to pull your leg past the other leg. Like, I think that's the problem sometimes with pose to pose. We're tempted to make really nice walking or running poses, but then make the mistake that you think like, oh, I mean, the legs are up here, I can put the floor right here. And no, you can't. A run is actually like you're constantly jumping. So the floor, especially if you're exaggerating on top of that, is a little higher, lower. I mean, the motion is higher. Our person is higher, especially because once you hit the ground, you have all this distance to come down, which can really, this distance, how you space this distance can be really nice to contribute to a feeling of your animation. And then you need to have that close distance. I mean, then it would be more like here. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing the top face a little bit, where it's more in the air. It feels really close to the floor. I do like the long jumps and how he puts his hands back. That's a very Spider-Man pose. Let's see if you have the appropriate amount of overshoot. Obviously, the hands, they need to follow through with the animation once they reach the ground. And they do that. That's nice. And yeah, this is a nice high motion. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of having the foot in front of the body like that. I would probably do it more like this, or how do the Spider-Man movies do it? I mean, this is a very Spider-Man thing to do, to have the legs stretched out like this, but I don't know. And this is kind of an awkward framing. I feel like in a movie you would be closer to this, more like that. But yeah. Very nice, thank you. Hi, KCG. Really nice to have all of you guys in the chat. 41 people watching. That's really cool. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm afraid I already have to stop the live stream in like 15 minutes. I have another appointment, but maybe we can get through some more. We could make a little lightning round. Okay, I'm switching off the music just to be sure because of copyright stuff. That is a lot of fun. Eugene Oy did it. Here's his Instagram name. That is so much fun. I do love that the newspaper printing shader is so big that you see all those dots. No, that's... Nice. I do like that the things that we are supposed to see are long enough, and I feel like they're just a couple frames long enough. Like, it's really, really amazing how little frames you need to have stuff readable, and how it can happen that you don't have stuff readable. Oh, and this seems to be animated on 2s, so every frame is held for 2 frames, except for the camera. The camera seems to be moving on 1s, so there's a new frame for the camera on every frame, and for the character, there's a new frame every 2 frames. Like, you know, that poses like this are seen just the right amount of time. And then there's so much going on with his hand. Like, just look at his hand for now, how he's like treading the air. That's really nice. Really good. Have a look at this one frame by frame. It's really cool. And yeah, you have everything nice and slow, and not slow, but, you know, step by step. Let's have a look at the jump here. Okay, see, he's getting there. Catching himself. Going up again. Then you have a nice ease up here. You have a couple of spacings that are really close, while this leg is going forward. Really nice. And it's really important that the leg is going forward here. It's kind of like announcing the direction that he's going to go. The leg flips over there, and now it just stretches out and goes down. Really fast, really nice. And again, after being stretched, he gets squashed again. You know, that's the thing. Squash and stretch doesn't mean the character is distorted a lot. Squash and stretch can just mean that your poses have contrast, that you have a stretched out pose. I sometimes have 3D animation students in my class that say, like, squash and stretch is only for cartoon animation. No, you have squash and stretch. If your character does a jump and he's stretching on the way down, he's stretching. And if he's hitting the ground, he will coil up and catch the motion. He's squashing. You know, you can have realistic proportions and still have squash and stretch. There's a little discussion in the chat about books for 2D animators, and Jan Willem van Dronkelaar also already suggested the Animator Survival Kit, which is a great suggestion. I have one book that's very underestimated by Eric Goldberg. I think it's called Character Animation. Character Animation Crash Course is pretty good too, especially if you like very cartoony kind of animation. Eric Goldberg was the animation supervisor for the Genie in Aladdin, and of course Richard Williams' Animator Survival Kit is also pretty great. All right. Oh, you couldn't see all this. The camera was too small. Anyway, a really nice animation here by Eugene. Really have a look at this frame by frame. You can just go to the Facebook group, the AnimChallenge Facebook group, and go to the video section. There you will find all the things that we just talked about. What? Okay. Okay, this is obviously making fun of the shot in the from the trailer. A lot of fun here. Oh god. I do like the attitude here, like this walk, this backwards walk. I really like it. Do you see the left and right motion of the hips, that's a weight shift, because you need to have, like, if you want to lift up that leg here, you need to shift your weight over on this leg so that your body is supported, and you do that by shifting over your hips, and then you can lift that leg. And that is done so nicely over here by Gaston Otero. Really nice. Oh, this is so nice. And it just has the right timing up here too. Like, it's really important that he holds the you have this kind of slow motion, how he goes up with the hands here. That's really nice. And then he holds it at the temple, and he just holds it there. This is really important, really nice. And then there's this fast motion. You have like this contrast between slow and fast and held pose. I really love it when 2D animators go more pose to pose, because you avoid all this floatiness, problems with floating. Really nice. Oh god, I'm not sure about the holding the pose in the side way. I think this is in the is this in the trailer, or is this to show how ridiculous the trailer is? But I wonder how it will look if you would just have. I don't think you can go directly to that camera perspective. I like it. The joke works. It's fun. I do think maybe you could have held the oh no, not more videos I may like. I want to see this video. I think the fall, like, I like how you hold this. That's really nice. I think this one I would have held for just 2, maybe 4 frames longer, and it would still have been a short fall, but you would have seen that pose. Really nice. Hello, Infinite Imagination. Jan William, the challenge is not from us. It's a Facebook group called AnimChallenge. It's not from me. It's from a guy named Maxime. He's really nice. And asked me to do some feedback and critique for the groups each month. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay. That's nice. That's really spidery. We had a similar fall before. Like, the first part, I think, is quite nice. I wonder if I would separate the phases even more. Like, just have his hand go there and then have the rest come. Just have the foot first and then the body. Like, I wonder if that could have been stretched apart even more. But it's okay. It's fine. And, you know, this is actually the wall, right? Yeah, he's at the wall, which gives you that very strange sideways perspective. It's really nice. And I think you don't need to completely explain this. I think it's fine. What I don't like about the jump is it is a controlled jump. Like, he kind of... I like that you have that look over. Like, that's really cool. You have that look over. He sees at where he's going to jump. He looks at his destination. That's really cool. And that makes it a controlled jump. And then you have enough time for that anticipation. Like, that's really important too, that he's going closer to the wall now. Really nice. Looking there, going closer to the wall. Really, really nice. So I don't know why he's immediately having these out of control motions. I think you could have let him go all the way to, like, maybe here without panicking, without doing his arm. Like, he just jumped off of it, and it should feel more control. Like maybe he's turning, he's wanting to go there, and maybe then he realizes, oh, this is gonna be a tight one. I might miss this, and then like after the pivot of the arc, he starts like panicking. I feel like it would have been nice to have this in 2 phases. I think that could have been interesting. But overall, I do like it. I like how he's flinging the arms around and how you have the head there. The pigeon is also a nice touch. And again, you have the right amount of like, pigeon is just doing pigeon business, just looking around. Nothing special going on. And then you have that little reaction first before the pigeon flies away. That is super important. These things are super important. And then the last bit is really nice. I wonder if the pole is a little too stiff. But you know, of course, this is really difficult to animate. Like contacting other objects, it's always pretty difficult. I think it would have been nice if it would bend just a little. Especially when he has the weight of his 2. I think because of the centrifugal force, he would actually pull it up. Like he would first pull it down. Oh my god, I should draw with my pen. He would first pull it down when he lands, and then when he swings around, I think he would actually pull it up like that. And that could have been a nice touch. Of course, really difficult to animate because you have 2 objects that you need to sync. But this can also be a really nice touch that makes the world feel very physically grounded even more. Okay, let's try to get into more like a lightning mode. I'm so sorry that I can't get to everyone's animations. There are just so many wonderful things. I hope I can just in general help you to develop like a way to look at these and to look for the things that I'm looking for. It can be so much fun to study other people's work. Okay, there we have the problematic camera switch again. I do like, this is a new perspective. I feel like this is a camera perspective that we didn't have before. I really like that. I wonder if it would be better to have Spider-Man slightly further up or slightly further down, because you know there's this rule of thirds, that if you split your camera into 3 equal distances, that's where you want your things to be. So I don't know, maybe it would have been even stronger if he was more to that focal point. Because that's just something that we as human beings are drawn to. But I do like that we get this perspective down. There's actually police down there. That's really nice. And he's following them. This little speeding up is really great too. Like he's falling and then he's having like a little anticipation and going down. I'm not sure gravity works like that, but it works here. Okay, now the arm motion is a bit too quick. I like that there's a big arc in it, but it feels a bit too... there's this one frame especially where it's going to where it's spread out like that. I'm not sure you could spread out your arm like that if that many forces are pulling on you. I don't know. I love the arc, but I think I would have had it closer to the body. You give the web enough time, I think. Yeah, this is really nice, and how it swings over, shifting the perspective, how he gains control and automatically with that gains control of the camera. That's a really nice touch. How did they do this in the Spider-Man films? Like, this is a 180-degree jump, right? And I mean, 180-degree jumps are fine. It just shouldn't go over it. Is this going over it? And he's still going to the... I think maybe the secret is that you need to keep the screen direction. Like, even if the shot is very, very straight like this, you can have a slight tendency to the right. And as long as you keep this tendency to the right, I think you can do a 180 degree or even an over 180 degree cut, as long as your characters are still going in the same direction. And your problem is a little bit that you're going towards the right, but I think not for enough frames, because you immediately go to the left again. I wonder if it would have been even more clear if the screen direction would be the same all the way to the end. But I mean, it does make sense that he's going there and then there. But yeah. I feel like something is off on the board here. I think the way he lands is too light. Maybe, because he lands there and immediately goes further to the, he goes up. Maybe it would have been more clear or more forceful if he lands and then at first slides down and maybe has to catch himself, maybe even falls over a little bit and then gains control back and goes up. I like the going up part after this, but I feel like there's not enough impact when he lands on the sign. Yeah, this was by Alexis Moynier. Thank you very much. Next one by Cheaton Cherry. Spider Woman. Okay. I feel like for the landing, like I do like a lot of ways how you deal with the limbs, and you have double frames in there. That's pretty cool. I think for a big impact like this, I would always reverse the spine. I would always go over first. Sorry. Have a really strong arc in the opposite direction. I like your double frames. That's really nice. But this contrast from one pose to another sometimes can really make a difference. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the hips in detail yet, but maybe they can dip down even further too. And then you can reverse after you've bent the spine like this. Then you can reverse it in the end to be. To be like that. Also, I wonder if the silhouette could have been even clearer. Let me think. Let me think on paper. The best way of thinking. Maybe more like this. And personally, I will also try to keep the like to stop this from happening. How this kind of goes together. I mean, maybe this would have been fine. I don't know. Posing is a thing that you can work on forever. You can just do 50 or hundreds of scribbles to develop pose and try to find just the right combination, trying to make it as clear as possible, but still somehow, you know, that there's also some physical stuff that you need to be considering. I wonder if this angle is too sharp. I do like that the person is tiptoeing though. Like there's some thought behind this. It's really nice. Looking around. About the pose in the air, I'm not sure if it looks a little too magic-y for Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, because it feels like she has, like, this is not a time stop. This is a float. You can make a time stop out of this if you just if you're not all the way done with the pose, but you drag some more of the turning keyframes and you just slow them down, then it could read more like a time stop and less like the character is floating, which is a stylistic choice. Maybe the Spider-Man in your universe can do that. But yeah, really, really nice. So I'm afraid I have to go to my next appointment, but I had a lot of fun looking at all these animations and learned a lot myself, because I have to say that like a lot of physical action is not my strongest point. I'm more like an acting comedy person, and I was really happy to see some comedy entries. And I think a lot of people have done amazing stuff in here, where I'm not sure I would be able to do it on that level, but I can talk about it. No, it was really, really nice stuff in here. Have a look at the other entries. There are more. Just go to, what is the link? Facebook.com groups AnimChallenge. Just look for AnimChallenge on Facebook and you'll find it. Maybe you can participate in the next one. The challenge that is currently ending was about video game emotes. You know, these little dances that characters do in video games to taunt or to just celebrate. And there are some pretty good ones there too. We're gonna have a look at these two. And yeah, if you like what I'm doing on this channel, and if you want to have more Animator Island in your life and learn more animation, get better at animation even quicker, we are releasing a course soon. And let me actually get the link to you. You can go to animatorisland.com/2D. It's going to be a course about 2D animation, about all the basics, going from all the basics to some pretty advanced animation techniques. I'll start releasing videos hopefully next week or maybe in 2 weeks, but you can already sign up. Let me put up the link, animatorisland.com/2D, if you want to learn some 2D animation. And yeah, we're gonna do this critiquing next month too, so if you want to participate, enter the AnimChallenge. And I hope you had some nice a nice time with this with me, and I'll be very happy to see you again in one of our other live streams. And yeah, all that remains is to wish you a wonderful Sunday. Keep on animating, keep practicing, because that is the thing that will make you better. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you around. Goodbye, take care.